So let's open up the Time Magazine template in Word. And now you'll see the document opens up and we have a couple of elements here. We've got the masthead, we've got the border, we've got a text box, we've got a subhead, and then we've got background. So what we're going to do is we're going to be creating two different types of covers. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in a picture. So once you have this, what we've done is we've gone to every box and we've right-clicked and gone to Wrap Text, More Layout Options. And when you do this, what you get is you get this position box and you get this text wrapping box. What we want to do is we want to do text wrapping in front of text. And then we want to do positioning to page to page. And what this will allow us to do is position this anywhere on the page, horizontally or vertically. So we can measure things out from a real cover. We can position things in the same spot in different layouts. It's very valuable. So we're going to go to also text wrapping, and now when it's in front of text, this is going to allow us to move this box anywhere and position it. Okay? We're going to create two types of covers. One is going to have the masthead in front of the image, and then the next one is going to have the masthead sandwiched between the background. We're going to begin by adding in the image that's going to sit behind the logo. So we're going to go up to Insert, and we're going to go to Pictures. Now, I have a picture in a folder. You could have used online pictures if you'd like, but we have pictures all ready to go in this sample folder. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to hit Insert. Now, I made sure I had a large image so that I could scale this. So as this comes in, first thing I want to do is I want to click off because I need to get to this image. I need to make sure that I can move this. See how I'm not touching it and moving it? So I'm going to move this border first. And now when I click on the image, see how I can't move it anywhere? That's because you have to do what I showed you in the first few frames of this video. You're going to right click and you're going to go to Wrap Text and you're going to go to More Layout Options. And when that comes up, you want to not use in line with text. We want to do in front of text. Very important. This is what makes Word a layout program. That's why this tab is called Layout. We hit Position, and now we're going to go to Page and Page. And we allow overlap. None of these are checked off. We click OK. And now, once we do that, we can move this around. So we're going to grab the corner and we're going to scale this. And we're going to grab the other corner and we're going to scale it. We're not going to worry that it looks like it's going off the page. We want that. We want this cover to be dynamic. Now, we don't see anything else. We didn't lose it. It's just behind. So we're going to click on, and we're going to be able to go up to the menu at the top, and we're going to be able to go to Layout, and we're going to go to Send Backward. And we notice nothing happened there. So let's try Send to Back. And when we do that, we see how it goes back. We move this over. And now we've got the design in here. And the problem is that the logo isn't great. So you see how we have these pieces? We've got the border, we've got the logo, and sitting back here is the photograph. Oh, so I grabbed that by accident. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to replace the logo. We want to put a different logo in here. So we want to use the white logo. We also want to move this text up so we can see it. So we're going to move it up here onto this background. You notice how we can reposition this so that we can see it better. Okay, and that depends on the photograph. And again, you might have to change this text to a different color. But we can go in, we can highlight. And the key here in the typography, as you see, you want to be able to go to this font and you want to right click it. I'm using Franklin Gothic here. So when I right click, you get fonts, but this is the important area. You go to advanced, and the signature look for the Time headlines is this condensed look. So you want to just condense things by 1 point, not the body copy, only the headlines and the larger type, anything over like 24 point, things that are large. And you'll notice that you get that nice look. Okay, so let's get back to the logo here. We need to change out this logo. I'm not going to delete it yet because I want to bring in the new logo and I want to line it up perfectly. Then I'll get rid of this logo. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Insert, Pictures. And again, depending on what color your image is, that depends on your logo. So we have 3 logos here. We have the Time logo black, Time logo red, Time logo white, all in your tutorial folder. You can go to Time logo white, and we can go to Insert. Now we don't immediately see the logo, but we should know that it's probably here. So how do we find it? First thing we're going to do is we're going to click on, and we're going to start moving things. Word doesn't have layers. It works with front, move to front and send to back. So what we're going to do is, or bring to forward, excuse me, is we're going to move these objects. And as we do, there's our logo. So we're going to click on the logo. And what we want to do is we can't really move it. And the reason why is that we have to change the wrap. So if you notice, you have this little drop down here, layout options. You can just do see more. And we're going to go to text wrapping. You notice how everything's grayed out here? That's because the text wrapping is in line with text. We want to always go in front of text. And now these are all viable. We can set them to page, and now we can click OK. And now we're just going to move this right here, and we're going to be able to then bring to front. And now we can click on the logo in the back and simply hit delete. And now when we take this, go 1, 2, 1, 2, and we should be right up where we were. And now we position this to grab the photo first, because remember this is a sandwich. So we have to move the filling and the bread different times. And now here is our layout. We've got the masthead over the image with the white logo, and we've just created the Time magazine layout. Now, if we were going to put an image over the logo, over this masthead, we would need to use an image editing program like Photoshop to cut this out. Or we need to use an image that's a PNG that was created on a transparent background or was output with transparency. So let's drag that in now. Let's bring one of those types of images in now. We're going to click on this border. I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to delete it. And we have a background here, a box. Notice how I've moved it. We can make this any color we'd like. And what's so easy about this is that when we click on these, all we do is double click and we can change the fill of the shape rather easily. If we wanted to just go with a solid color, say we wanted to use black, we wanted to use a different color, it's very easy. So you could lay a photo over this. Let's go here and use this, this gold. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to just leave the border over to the side, and now we're going to bring in another image. And this time the image is going to be a PNG file. So we're going to go to Insert, Pictures. And again, if you went to Online Pictures, that's going to bring you up to a browser, and you'll be able to pull pictures from online to put into your layouts. We're going to use images that we've already downloaded. So we're going to go right here to elephant, and this elephant is actually a PNG file that was on a transparent background, so all of this area, this black area, is going to be transparent. When I hit Insert, it comes in, and now you notice it doesn't have a background. I'm going to grab where? The corner, always. I don't want to grab here. I always want to grab the corner. One thing we don't want to do is we don't want to skew the image. We don't want the image to look like this. This is a no-no. I'm going to undo that. We always want to grab from the corner. And now what we can do is I can't move this. For what reason? We have to set up our layout options. I can either go to the icon here, or I can go to the wrap text icon and go to more layout options, or I can simply right click on the image and go to wrap text. So 3 different ways to do the same thing, but it's very important that you do this. We're going to go to more layout options, and again, you can jump in here and just do in front of text here, but I like going to more layout options. The reason is that I can then set the positioning from page to page, and now that gives me an absolute position that I can look at to position things. So I'm going to click OK, and now I'm going to be able to move this image and position it. And you'll notice that I can put it right in front of the masthead. And then we can click on the border and move it back over here. Now, if we wanted to, you'll notice that we have this actually coming over the border. If we wanted the trunk inside the border, we could do that by pushing it backward, sending it backward. But I think it looks kind of cool knocking out of the area here. I'm actually going to make it a little bit larger so it does that on the back end. And now we have a really cool dynamic look. The only problem is that our text box is behind. So let's move this. Let's click on our text. We're just going to move it down just so that we can get to it. And again, sometimes it's a little bit tough. We have to move this stuff around, but that's what happens when you work in Word. It's a little bit easier in programs like InDesign or Photoshop or Illustrator, but we're working here. We use the tools we have. And now what we want to do is before we put this over this, we want to move it up and we want to click. And again, we want to get some positioning here. So we're going to go to Layout and we're going to bring to front. And then we're going to do the same thing with our caption. We're going to be going to bring to front. And now when we click on the elephant, we've got it in front of the logo. And we're just going to change the headline. Okay, so we have the layout with a solid color. We have an image over. Any image that you bring in can be a PNG that has transparency, and anything like that would be fine. You can find those on the web. You can make those in Photoshop. Just make sure they're on a transparent background and they're saved as PNG, and that is how you can create magazine covers in Microsoft Word.